We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist, and it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Klingate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Klingate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen again.
Well, good morning, you radicals. Live from San Diego. I'm sitting up on the bench at top of Caprius Point, overlooking this incredible vista on the incredible mighty blue Pacific. Oh, my God, what a view up here. Wow, 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 wow. Looking across. You can see so far until you see these ugly freaking black freaking clouds across there. You can almost see the Fukushima. Not that far, huh? They, yesterday, heartbreaking, intense, radical, oh my God. Wow, wow, wow. As San Diegans have gone the same way San Francisco gone, comfortably numb and dumb. Apathetic, pathetic, real estate, tourism, cultural theme parks, fuck, it's something else. At the hearing yesterday, Libby, from her great work, she was there, inside the courtroom. So we go down there, you know, we had a group of people that supposedly were trying to set up permits, whatever, same old, same old. But anyway, I get down there. It's amazing to me how the communication skills of human beings can't get anything done anymore. So we go down there, we got all our signs that are set up, you know, they know we're coming. Get down there and there's this big, fat, obese, freaking about my age, barely speak English, fucking federal security guard, and I said, we're setting up right. You can't set up anywhere here. Why the fuck can I? Yeah, I can. He very, you know, I think he was probably Filipino. And I'm like, really? I don't know where the fuck you grew up, but this is the United States of America. You ever read the First Amendment? I said, how'd you get citizenship? You work for the federal government. Do you have to take a test? No, you can't set up anywhere on these fucking lines. I said, the fuck I can't? Call your fucking boss. This fucking big doofus fucker comes fucking down, starts the same shit with me. You can't say. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? This is federal fucking property. This is fucking taxpayer property. Of course I can fucking set up. You gotta have a permit. Oh, really? Okay. So anyway, I go in, find out who runs the so-called permits, whatever, 4th floor. Jason Surfer. He's like, oh yeah, you can set up. He's on our team. You know, he was great, by the way. You know, I have communication skills. I can handle freaking tough situations through communications. I've done it over and over when we were at D.C. I mean, you want to talk about the military industrialized police force there all over us. I'm like, hey, you don't think you can get freaking cancer? The Innovation Solution dump site. Those guys hug me out there now, their security personnel, because they can all get cancer. So, he issues the permit that we set up. Got all our signs, everything. For every activist, they got to have at least 10 to 1. There is police everywhere. Everywhere. U.S. Marshals all over me. You wouldn't believe the intensity. I mean, people all over me. So here comes the SWAT team. And I'm not kidding. San Diego PD SWAT team. They're called in on me, Kevin Blanch, and Lori sitting there with some signs. Really? You know, we're set up in the front. You can watch the video. So here they come. I mean, the guy's got a freaking bulletproof vest on. You got a permit? Yeah, I got a permit. Why do I need a fucking permit? You better fucking... I better have one? What are you talking to me like that for? What the fuck? And he says, well, I'm ex-Navy 22 years. Well, I says, then you ought to fucking know better. And he says, well, you know... I said, well, they sent those kids in. Fucking, we're protecting them. We're fucking saying, they want kids. So I'm 54 fucking years old, fucker. You're a kid to me. Don't talk to me like that, you disrespectful fuck. He says, well, you talk to me, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? He says, I mean, he was the biggest fucking prick you ever fucking met. Those kids, he says, they went in, they volunteered. I volunteered to get fucking nuclear relay at Fukushima? Are you fucking nuts? The fuck they did. This is fucking mass murder. You don't even stick up for your own thing. You're 22 years in the fucking Navy. Oh, they gave you a dishonorable fucking discharge. My father's a dead fucking Marine. Well, you don't even defend your own fucking group? What the fuck is the matter with you people? You know, and he's fucking storming it. You know, I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you. Leave me alone. You know, and so then I don't know who this, I mean, they got people tracking me. I mean, it was outrageous. So I can understand why people don't want to throw in with me. You know, Lori and I sit there, and we got our wheel of misfortune. You know, everybody's come on. You want to spin it? I mean, these people are just, so they got this woman fucking undercover, well, she ain't even undercover. Her badge, she's all over me. I'm like, what? And then, you know, these lawyers, whatever, I says, you got a suit and fucking tie on? You got a fucking badge? I says, that fucking badge stop you from getting cancer? Well, what? You don't think you can get cancer? Come spin our fucking wheel. I mean, they're just like they're fucking comfortably numb. Just walk by you like these fucking robots. You know, like they're dehumanized, which they are dehumanized. Go play some more video games. Go watch some more porn on TV, you fuckers. So they're all over me. Well, the lead attorneys, you know, which I've been spending a lot of time with the attorneys, you know, and, you know, down here trying to get them prayed, trying to get them up, because what I have, the information, the knowledge, I mean, what I have, oh my God, the knowledge I have, you know, a lot of it was whistleblowing to me that, you know, it's amazing, because I've been all over this since the day it fucking happened. So, you know, they come around. They were great, the attorneys, Libby. So there's Libby and her friend. By the way, Libby had her hair dyed green. I loved it. She is great. Oh, my God, she is fantastic, that woman. She is so great. If you've ever watched her, you need to watch her, listen to her show. You know, look at her hot seat. She's fantastic. She's in the show. The attorneys come up. They take pictures or whether it's talk. They're really, you know, they're great. Into the courtroom, I says, no, we're going to stay out here while you guys are in the courtroom. We're going to protest here. So a lot of people walking by, attorneys in and out of the courtrooms. We're set up right there. We got all our signs. You know, security. I mean, it is outrageous. So here comes, I don't even know who this bald-headed fuck is. I don't know if he's pulling an attorney. And he's having a fit. He's going to security saying, what the fuck? You know, and he says, well, that's Kevin Blanch. Yeah, I know who he is. What the fuck? You know, he says, no, he has a permit. That fucker, you know, and he going around, I says, fucker, fuck you. You know, why don't you come spin our wheel for? You don't think you can get cancer? I mean, it's outrageous. So Tom Brown. Well, we need another Tom Brown, don't we? This guy's named Tom Brown. He comes from up the canyon, the Steel Bridge. You know, so we're there. A couple of activists call me from that have gotten cancer, San Onofre. Kevin, we don't want to be seen on camera with you, but we're coming to buy you dinner. We're coming. All right, right on. You're not going to camera. Which they were great. They got cancer. I said, look, I was jet skiing in San Onofre every day. My daughter at Pepperdine. The waves, yay, the nuclear waves at Pepperdine. Hey, we're at Malibu. We've all got cancer. I'll blame it on Rocketnight. All the kids are getting cancer. Everybody's getting cancer. Well, what sits right out on the fucking point? The fucking furthest out point, the direct fucking line, direct hit. Malibu. He says, I got fucking testosterone cancer. I had to cut my fucking balls off. Wow. This is horrible, horrible. He says, you know, I'm in San Onofre every day. I searched around, I found you. Oh, my God. What a godsend. He says, holy cow. And he says, then my 19-year-old daughter, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, in the water every day. There's my point. That is my fucking point about the cover-up of Fukushima. People say, oh, they would have got it anyway. The fuck they would have. If people would have been told the fucking truth, which I tried in the inception, people could have took precautions. How many people that died would be a fucking lie? They don't give a fuck. It's malice. It's premeditated fucking murder to the epic fucking 10th power. Okay, you think if that girl would have been, if it would have been on CNN, it would have been on Fox, it would have been on fucking, without the fourth pillar, we have nothing. You think she'd been swimming in fucking Malibu? Nope. You think she would have took some extra precautions and fucking more fresh fruit and juice and vegetables in her diet to keep that? Oh yeah, you can bet your ass she would have. They would have. People are uninformed because there's no place to get informed. You know, I've tried. He's like, oh my God, Kellen. He says, your information. You know, these. So we're down there all day. All day. Security all over us. So they argued back and forth in the courtroom for 2.5 hours. Now, the attorneys, you know, we've been spending time with them, and it was said inside the courtroom, TEPCO's defense attorneys, which are a bunch of whores here, if this gets dropped here, because I was here all last summer for the whole Dog and Pony show that got dismissed. Janet, the judge, if this gets dismissed, this is the end of the road. That's what he says as far as USS Reagan and the personnel, the Navy and Marine personnel in Japan. They got contaminated, which is well over 100,000. I estimate they're probably more like 800,000. One of the plaintiffs is there. He's in a wheelchair. He's dying of cancer. So I asked, you know, the lead attorney, do you believe that's true? He says, yeah, if she doesn't let it go forward. She's a new judge. You know, the Ninth Circuit of Appeals, she doesn't want to look bad to them. It's going to be interesting to see how she rules. But they argued back and forth for 2.5 hours in there. They came out, she took it under consideration. I imagine she'll make a ruling here the next few days. I guess she'll give it a few days. You know, there's a lot of reading involved. This is a heavy, heavy, heavy burden. I mean, this is the military industrialized complex place. San Diego's turned into the war profiteer fucking from hell haven. They love the troops. We support the troops. Oh, there's a ship coming back in. Let's line up and get your hang of ribbons, kiss them, you know, get lays on their fucking necks. Yay, look at my hero. They're not heroes. They're fucking victims. They're not fucking heroes. Quit calling them fucking heroes. They're victims of an industrialized militarized complex and economy gone bad. No tariffs, no years. There's no fucking jobs. There's no fucking jobs. So they're forced to the fucking military. You think they're fucking heroes? They're victims. They're victims. You think when they were growing up playing video games, being fucking postured and fucking groomed to go fucking mass murder and push fucking little buttons, badly managed collateral fucking damage? You know, we're over at the fucking Balboa at the zoo. You know, this is tourist season. It's fucking August. You know, you see those videos. The Museum of Man, that in grand place. I mean, millions of kids go through there. Millions of kids. Their fucking presentation over there is the history of torture. You know, bring the kids, and maybe go to SeaWorld. Oh, SeaWorld's announced, by the way, they're building a 1-acre aquarium. So these it's more, they're grandstanding all over. All these fucking wells, it's more like they're having they swim a fucking acre in fucking 3 seconds. Come on, kids, let's watch these fucking, let's watch these captured fucking giant fucking creatures from the Pacific being caged like fucking dogs, like lab rats, freak out and kill someone. That's what we've turned into. It's sick. Let's go to Del Mar Racetrack. When you pull into Del Mar on the backside, this is no shit right now at the fairgrounds. This is the fucking county fairgrounds. It's still the county fairgrounds. They have a museum there, a museum of horror, they call it. This giant, ugly-looking creatures you walk in. You know, it's so outrageous, the posture and groom, this culture of fucking death. People are accepting, so nobody's got the balls to show up. You know, I guess I don't blame you. After what we went through yesterday, the intimidation, good luck intimidating me, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck. You got fucking 500 guns. You go fuck you. Yeah, they're not intimidating me. I know my rights. I know the law. I do play by the rules. I don't fucking do anything wrong. You know, I know the fucking rules. You can't make them up, you know. But here's the sad thing. What they'll do, they'll arrest you, throw you in, and blow your whole protest up, and then, you know, you'll win in court because it's against the law, but what they do. But that's the way these fuckers play. Because these fuckers sit around and watch too much fucking television. There's some gung-ho motherfuckers. Yeah, I was in the Navy for 22 years. Well, what the fuck did you fucking bootlicker scrubbers. What'd you do? Fucking sit around and fucking scrub their fucking boots all fucking day for 22 years? So, that's what they do. You know, it's outrageous. It's unbelievable how these people fucking roll. And then on the activist side, fuck, wow, there ain't no fucking activists. Libby was there. You know, all these keyboard activists down here. I'm disgusted. Oh yeah, I'm in the fight of my life. I've got AML leukemia. I've got AML de novo leukemia. My lower fucking right fucking mesentery, fucking hardcore heart. I'm in the fight of my fucking life. But I was doing this before I got cancer. And so, people think, oh, there's a cure for cancer. Oh, I'll just take a pill. I remember Dusty got sick the same time as me. The young guy. Went in, it got up behind his eyes. He had some blurred vision. And the blurred vision in his eye, he was in there. I mean, they admitted it's a radical leukemia. That's what leukemia, the free radicals, they're aggressive, they're hardcore, they're brutal, they're mean, they get in the lower spine, the eyes, the lungs. They ripped off 33% of my body that so fucking fast it'd make your head spin off. I mean, where does it go? I was losing 6-7 pounds a day. I mean, unbelievable. And he's like, I remember being in there, he's got kids and so on. Well, you can just give me some medicine or something. And the doctors, I mean, I'm sitting right there with him because I'm no friends with him. No. What do you mean just some medicine? Well, don't you have it? No. You're so full of cancer, it's so freaking radical, you know, and we can't even, I mean, this guy, I mean, that's the way it works. I mean, some of these cancers, it's on, it's over. You know, so they start prepping him for death. You know, and he died fast. You know, at least he didn't have to suffer too long. You know, they help it out a lot, but that's the problem. A lot of young people, a lot of very young people in their 20s and 30s. The CDC comes right out and tells you the number one killer now of children in America is cancer. CDC, a lot as they are, comes right out and tells you, calls it the cancer pandemic. Starts laying out the numbers of the increases in cancers. And by the way, the survival rate used to be, we were getting better and better and better at surviving cancer, which we have because what they do, they cut your breasts off, they cut your prostate out, you know, and they say me, you know, you're unalive. Medicine's come miles. A lot of things have come miles. But the survival rate's getting very low. And I want people to understand this. I'm all about holistic healing before you get cancer. You know, I don't want to hear this shit after they use the word acute on you and say, oh, I'm just going to, because I saw it firsthand. Two holistic freaking older females who knew it all, just asked and they knew it all. Their poor husbands. Oh, my God. I know them both. When they both died, by the way, and both of them freaking immediately got younger husbands. You ought to see their husbands. They walk around with permanent freaking smiles. They feel like they've been freaking set free. I mean, these were some militant, incredible females. I mean, it just blows my mind. They dig in. She got a lump on her breast. Naomi. Beautiful. In her 60s. Early 60s. I'm like, go get it cut out. Oh, no. You know, and she did everything right. She was a holistic healer from what? That's her whole business, everything. You know, her whole mindset. I'm like, yeah, you did all the right things. So did Steve Jobs. You know. So I'm like, just go get it cut out. I mean, do it. Nope, I'm going to apricot seed it, cannabis it, that everything. I says, too late for that. You did all that. And once you have chronic, yeah, I'm all for all that stuff. What do you think I've done? What do you think? I did this without a bone marrow. How do you think I've done it? You don't think I use freaking, I mean, come on. I could write books on it. Spirituality, I mean, my diet, my fight, everything that, I mean, I think people that have been able to watch my videos along the way, that's the thing that people really should take the most of it, is how did Kevin survive this really radical, hardcore cancer? By fighting the people that gave me the cancer. At the core. Not the byproduct, not build more Scripps hotels and Huntsman Center more hotels so you can live in comfort as you die. You know, our hospital has a saying, you want to stay in the hotel, eat the great food, go up to Huntsman. You want to live? Come here. I says, I'll take living. You know, that's not living anyway, comfortably in some freaking house on the hill, you know, with the maid and your chauffeur around it. That's not living. So she died Christmas Day after she got it. My point is this. Yeah, you need to do all those things before you get cancer. And even after you get cancer, it's a big part of the healing process, but it has to be much more spiritual. It has to be much more militant. You have to fight. Not in a hyperbole way, physically, mentally, fight. Fight hard. Push yourself. Walking. I think a big part of my survival has been walking. I walked all up and down across this ocean, up and down these freaking shores. You know, I've been on the Pacific since Fukushima happened. I don't know how many times. I've been all over across the country. I walk tremendous. I walk every day, every morning. I have a routine I go through. I drink a lot of carrot juice, by the way. You know, I do a lot of things. My diet, is it 100% vegan? No. Nope. I mean, I ate some spare rib tacos down here that were really good. I don't eat fish. I don't eat any fish. I try to avoid all dairy. Definitely never drink any milk, ever. You know, but I screw up once in a while, eat a little bit of cheese, but not very often. I eat a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables, which, yeah, granted, you know, the fruit and vegetables grown in California, grown ever, yeah, it's being radiated. But every place is being radiated. You know, and so, that part of the equation we cannot avoid. You know, the idea, I think, somehow that you sell your piece of real estate on the coast and move inland is going to protect you, I find it ridiculous. And I will talk about this right now. I want to talk about this in reality. Any of you want to know more about how these hot particles attach to water molecules and orbitals, which is very, very real. These things go for a ride. They surf the freaking ocean. Well, they go up into the air and they attach. Richard Miller, Under the Cloud. I knew Richard Miller. His beautiful work that he did all through the 80s. He took the government data from the open-air test in Nevada, 350 open-air tests. And he took the data, and they had very good data. Very, you know, you get right out of it. That's the thing everybody argues with me. Oh, this stuff. No. The data's all right there. You can just click on it, find it. I present it all over. There's all the data. People just pick and choose what they want to view and what they want to look at. So what he did, he took the government rain maps because they very sophisticated where it was going to rain. They were about to let it freaking go over L.A. They weren't about to let it go over Southern California. You know, they pushed, and that's the thing that kills me of Marie Antoinette, Barack Obama. His mother died very, very young. Kansas and Oklahoma took just as much as Utah. She was a downwinder, supporting the very industry that killed his mom, kind of like we do, kill our own mother, the Pacific Ocean. So he took the data, their incredible, sophisticated data they had where it rained after the tests. And then he compared and contrast. That's back when all ecologists would talk before they passed all these IPA and PIPA laws that won't let them. So, and it was you and I who passed those laws, by the way. You guys get all bent out of shape, say these ecologists expressing it, but it's you and I as the populace who does this. And Congress passed these laws. Congress wields incredible power. And Congress is representative government. It is you and I. Yeah, bought and paid for these guys. Go look at the polling. You guys are still all about the war, military, industrialized complex. You can say you're not. Oh, we support the troops. We support the troops. When it comes right down to support troops, no, you don't. No, you don't. You know, it's about your money and it's about your jobs and your houses. You know, that's what it is. You're looking at real estate values along here. Yeah, they're going to decline. Is it going to be Fukushima that's going to decline them? Maybe, but the 0% interest rate scenario, the housing bubble 2.0, the demographics of the baby boomer alone is going to take that apart. You know, we turn this into a cultural theme park for Europeans to shop at. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But the average baby boomer in this country is well into their 60s now, and there's 85 million of them. Number one, they can't afford these big houses. They don't want these, and the younger population sure is not going to pick up the slack. Why do they want them? What is the point? You think you're going to pay cash even if you have some money. You know what property values have done down here as far as property tax? Pay property tax. Pay your insurance on your house. It's, you know, you're going to be paying $4 or $5 grand a month just for that alone, even if you own the real estate. You know, population, there's no jobs. There's absolutely no jobs. Well, what are they serving coffee at Starbucks? They're going to buy one of these fucking McMansions? I don't think so. Yeah, maybe some inherited wealth when you sell it and leave it to them when you die of cancer. The baby boomers are going to die much quicker than they thought. Fukushima, is it eugenics? Well, we can dive into the whole eugenics theory and thesis, but John Holdren was handed the keys, and we know this factually, the science and technology team that was in place before Fukushima happened, because Berkeley's always been about that. The head of the snake is Cal Berkeley in Livermore. We went to San Diego State and protest. Their marine biologists go to the front page of their webpage, and, we got this old retired hippie marine biologist. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Fuck. They don't do anything. I don't even think these people, they go to school, get a degree, and it becomes this culture of nothingness. We're going to have a symposium in Europe in a castle in Croatia. That's all they do. They don't work. They don't study the ocean. They don't do anything. Academia has turned into, the science world has turned into regurgitating other people's work. And that's what they do. They just, I'm serious, that's what it's been for years, but it's gotten worse and worse and worse. All they want to do is just take other people's work, old work, and just regurgitate. Think about Long Beach State and the so-called kelp studies. They're using data that they won't even create any new data. When they do create data, they're going to use background levels from January of 2014 when Fukushima happened in March of 2011. I mean, the giant rubber duck that's in L.A. Harbor, that would be down here with Fukushima painted all over it. I mean, this thing through the water can make it in days. So he tracks it where it rained. Then he goes into those communities. He spent his whole life doing it. He built an incredible map of the spikes in thyroid cancer and leukemia, deaths via those diseases. And people talk about the mutations. Mutations have already happened. You look at mutations of society in the military-industrialized nuclear complex since then. Look how dramatically humans have changed in the last 30 years. I could break a lot of it down to economics. They're stressed out. They're overworking. The obesity, the internalizing the strife, the tattoos on the face, the piercing, the soft porn, the fast food. They're overworked. They're stressed out, trying to freaking keep up with the Joneses, when we know that the average person's balance sheet that live in one of these technologies is upside down as it gets. They're relying on their real estate value to keep going up forever, just like they did housing bubble in 2008. So the answer has been slash the rate to zero slash the rate, because no tariff society, in a so-called service-based economy, you have to have disposable income. Well, there's no jobs. People don't have, so they have to keep real estate values. That's the low interest rate. But the interest rate's been zero for a long time. I mean, it's ironic that Japan, the Nikkei picked in 1986. They've had a 0% interest rate the entire time, which they've desecrated that country, even before Fukushima happened. The American business model that went over there and the whole game desecrated Japan. This Consumo Bay on that island just annihilated that culture. We're doing the same thing here to Southern California. We're doing the same thing up and down the whole coast. Cultural theme park, post-World War II, that's what Europe was. Now you think about that. The art, all great art movements up until the 1940s, all of these incredible European art movements. There's been no art post-World War II. They desecrated the country, but it was the thrashing of their currencies. So it turned into and they fell for it. Americans traveled to Europe on vacation. Let's go to Milan shopping. And so what do? They catered to the American tourist. So they created tourist traps, coffee houses, restaurants. That's all it was. So they turned their place into a service-based economy. Well, in a service-based economy where nothing's made, nothing's organic, and nothing's raw, of course there will be no art. There has not been one piece of art post-World War II that means anything out of Europe. Nothing. Zero. The latest great art movement in this country was, the abstract impressionism or abstract expressionism. And, I take a lot of shit for saying abstract impressionism when it's abstract expressionism. Not my words, de Kooning's words. That's what he called it. So you want to badmouth that? Badmouth me, then badmouth de Kooning. So that happened here. Now Warhol paints the soup cans, he's mocking culture. I use my soup cans, Hopkins is dead, which it is dead, you just don't know it's dead. So they slashed the interest rate. The only rule the Fed had when they should have been raising. Alan Greenspan, the greatest terrorist in American history. Well, second to General Electric, Westinghouse, the nuclear cartel. So what have we done here? We're going right out of the playbook. We've turned New York City, Brooklyn's like going to Sesame Street now. Art movement. Patty Smythe, please. Patty Smythe. I'm the gatekeeper. We're full. None of you artists come here. There's no art there. What are you talking? We're full. There's no artists in New York City. What are you talking about? What, because you took your shirt off in 1982 and sang a song? and showed your tits, so you're the gatekeeper of the art community? That bitch hasn't done nothing in 35 years. So that's what California's turning into. Who would even believe it in San Diego County? Yeah, San Francisco, it's gone. It's a $20 hamburger at Denny's. I'm not kidding. Probably how the fresh produce are all gone. That's one thing up and down California I always loved about it, is fresh juice bars. They're all gone. They're all gone up and down the coast. They can't survive. This has become a cultural theme park down here because of the weak dollar. I mean, Europeans travel here. Nobody speaks English down here. They're all Europeans traveling, sightseeing, because of the weak currency. Just what we did there. But what that creates, it creates a service-based economy. We have no tariffs, and service-based, we fall for. We're going to cater to that. So coffee shops, so the young population, the baby cubs, they're all going to serve coffee. So they're going to buy, when you guys die and you get ready to sell your McMansion, you're going to sell it to somebody who's serving coffee. There's not enough of them to fill the void. The housing bubble's 2.0. It's only a matter of time. But Fukushima's going to pile on. Now, even I think if the average Californian, which I think they do know, I think the California does know. I mean, they just look at you like they're numb and walk over like they're in some kind of stare. And I could tell you how they know. Fish consumption here post-Fukushima is down 40%. They know. Denial? Oh, yeah, it's just like a woman who's been molested and raped when she's young. They compartmentalize it. They check it out. They don't want to think about it. They want to go on with their fairy tale and happy until they get cancer. But that's the problem. You have to take these things head on, kind of like I did cancer, kind of like I do everything, my life. Maybe to the extreme. I don't know that it's the extreme. I think the extreme is the passive-aggressive softening down here. People won't talk about it. They won't. I think people know. Well, I know they know. I mean, you bring it up, they know. They know. I mean, I talk to lots and lots of surfers. They know. They compartmentalize it. They don't think about it. It's like child molestation or a bad experience somewhere in your life, really horrible. You're not going to think about it. It's a tough subject to think about, but we have to think about it. It's the tough love, the hard freaking questions, the tough stories, but nobody's willing to step out. We're down there in support of the troops. I don't see anybody, your yellow sticker on your car, while you're mass murdering people in Iraq. Right here, San Diego, the war complex, the war profiteers all live here. They protect the war profiteers here. They're all here. That's what they do here. And who would ever believed it? San Diego was always different than L.A. San Diego was the ranchers and the farmers and the writers and the poets and these tough women who, protected the birds in the sanctuaries. They're gone. They're all gone. They're gone. Lori's here. She fights. She's on her own. Heartbreaking that we cannot get a community that will stand with us. And I get it. That's what he did with Kevin. People don't dare throw in with you. We saw it firsthand yesterday. You wouldn't believe. Really? Me standing in front of the court with some signs? You're really scared of me? What the hell? U.S. Marshals freaking undercover. Cops everywhere. Intimidation tactics over and over and over and over and over on me. I just laugh. Ask them, hey, we'll come spin our wheel of misfortune. We asked dozens and dozens and dozens of people. Nobody would do it. Nobody. Not one single person was willing to even spin our wheel, go on camera. Nobody. Nobody. Including the attorneys. Nobody. It's amazing. One thing that I was taken aback, the hundreds and hundreds of people that are already sick of using it, where were their family members? Where were they yesterday? Accept the culture of death, the new norm. I guess that's the way it's going to play out. As we starting to back up the data that everything that I've said in the early days, you go back to my early videos, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, every video that I did, in a real hardcore dramatic, everything that I said. It's Cassandra-like. Amazing how accurate I've been, and all the confirmation's coming now. Oh, yeah, this guy's crazy. Under the attacks that I was under, the death threats that I was under, these people, Dana's had to disable his comments, and I get it. What I deal with a day. By the way, we know, Google will tell you this, 90% of people that comment on videos don't even watch the videos. They're trying to call attention to themselves on what their cause is, and I'm all for that. You know, if it's right. I mean, because it's a great way for people to link together and communicate. And I've had to police mine, which is a tough, tough job. I'm not about to let somebody, all this, my life work, my life hard work. This is my life. Look, I had an incredible hedge fund career, derivative arbitrage specialist. I mean, I go across the wall with a hard control. I mean, incredible careers. I sacrificed all that to take this cause on because this is the good fight. You know, my life, I was fighting it before I got cancer, but look, it's that important. And I understand I made giant salary. It's my life work. You know, I'm not going to sit and let somebody come in with some little, you know, snippet of a hyperbole, think they know what they're talking about when they don't, and go after me. You know, move on. Like I told somebody the other day, said, well, you need to slow down, do this. And I'm like, this is not for the little kids. This is for the big boys and the big girls. This is a sophisticated subject matter with a sophisticated populace, with a sophisticated group that watch these videos. Incredible, sophisticated, brilliant people. You know, run along and go to Fox News, CNN, they'll give you a cookie. We're not giving out cookies here. You know, we're trying to articulate and create a community of intellectuals and doers that can move culture, leaders. I think there's a lot of leaders been born out of my YouTube site. I think there's a lot of leaders out there that are activists as far as this goes that don't even realize they're becoming a leader right under your nose. I think a lot of the leaders don't even realize they're becoming leaders, and they're becoming leaders. And I tell people, you know, this is an old quote. I'm not sure if it's Stegner said it or Abby. You know, one of them, I remember saying it. I knew them both very personally. I knew a lot of these great activists in a very personal way. I have incredible ties to this place, the Pacific in San Diego and my home Ogden, Utah. There's a reason they were all landed here and there. The environment is spectacular. One of them said that you don't pick activism, it picks you. And it's a thankless, freaking tireless battle. It's so true. And then you got to realize Stegner and Abbey were writers. They had a platform at Stanford. Stanford gave them a platform. You know, and so they wrote. They had money. They had money, but most activists have no money. And they struggle and fight. And so Dana comes out and asks for money. That's what all you activists have to do. We have to have funding. We have to have money. You know, Christina Radchick needs money. Lori down here needs a new sewing machine. You know, I'll get the information. You know, Dana did what he had to do. You know, we need funding. We can't. Well, you know, I like everybody that pulls back on that. I mean, everybody goes to work every day, works hard. We're working hard 24/7 on this full-time freaking job. You get paid, and think about what you're doing for a living. We have to have. That's why the philanthropist is so important. We have to have funding. You know, Dana did exactly what he had to do. You know, and he's right. You know, don't shoot the messenger. You know, we're just out there trying to freaking give commentary and tell the truth. That's all we've ever done. That's all. I've been doing this from day one, even before Fukushima. I was doing videos on Fukushima before Fukushima happened. You know, and I'm not, you know, yeah, I can be a keyboard activist. I've taught myself, whatever. But I'm out in the street. I'm out on the ocean. I'm in the freaking environment all day, every day. Have been since it happened. The whole time. Up and down this coast. The contacts that I have in the Alaska fishery, the people via my YouTube site, inside Japan, all over, you wouldn't believe these horrific stories out here. I mean, these are solid, strong. John Kirk up there on the coast, his paddleboard business. This guy lives every day. He's older than I am on the ocean. A huge business, making hundreds of thousands a year. He says, it's heartbreaking. Starfish are gone. You know, and these are people that are connected with the water, the fisheries up there. I mean, these guys are calling me. These people are fishermen. Lifelong fishermen are calling me now and say, Kevin, you're right. Nothing. It's horrific. What the hell? You know, and so up and down this whole coast, I get these calls over and over and over and over. These species are being compromised in a dramatic way. You know, it's like we talk about nuclear fallout. Nuclear fallout, there is no doubt, since we started spraying nuclear fallout across this world, Chernobyl, the 350 open-air tests in Nevada, dump sites all over leaking. There's absolutely no doubt there is already mutated humans. Look at humans. Look what humans look like. Just type it in. Think about humans. You know, I saw Raquel Welch out at the freaking track at Del Mar. She's a local girl down here. Wow. I mean, think about the females. Think about the people. People in the 60s, in the 50s, in the 70s, California, all across you, they were beautiful, really slender, attractive. Really, people were beautiful. Not plastic surgery, naturally beautiful. Californians, why wouldn't they be? They were in tune with this mighty blue, incredible gem, which all cultures have been for years and years. Now look at people. Look at people compared to even the 70s. Now I can break a lot of it down to economics, getting rid of tariffs, because they're over the average athlete made 3 times in 1975 what the average working class. Tariffs. We can't compete. The average hourly wage on Earth is 20 cents an hour, please. See Chinese jobs, service-based economy. I mean, we can't all serve each other coffee. I mean, it's an impossible equation. It's a futile freaking system. It creates a futile war propaganda, war profiteer, third world freaking country. And we mask it over with false freaking equity in homes via the interest rate. We can't do it. Look at what people look like now. They've already been mutated. People are grotesquely mutated. Cancer rates from World War II, nuclear, from the open-air test in Nevada from 51, you can perfectly correlate it. And think about Chernobyl. I mean, think about the evacuation reason. You never go back. That's the thing with Fukushima. You don't get it. Think about if you're a 30, 35 generational fisherman over there. I mean, you're so connected with the environment, so connected. I think a lot of people in the United States can't understand. I can, because I'm 7th generation. I still live on a family ranch up there on the edge of that incredible landscape. People are born in subdivisions. They don't understand. Well, Japan, very different Fukushima. Multi-generational fishermen. The same people connected to that earth, their great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents. They are that earth. That is that earth. They're never going back. That's when people say, we're going to clean it up. No, they're not. You're never going back. Chernobyl, the evacuation region, is gigantic. Get out a map and look at it. The average lifespan in the Belarus and Ukraine dropped from 72 to 52. Oh, they drink too much. What? Since they just started drinking vodka in Russia in the last 30, 40 years? Please. Again, westernized propaganda. Westernized folding paper cranes. Fortune code. I mean, it all is this nuclear cartel and cabal. It is the herd of elephants in the room. Look up the subsidy. Look how much the taxpayer, Price Anderson. Congress cannot overturn that. I mean, they have no liability. They opened up the treasury for the Manhattan Project, and Einstein, here I'm sitting right up at the top of this peak. When really, you fall back to Campbell in his observation tower out here in California. 100 years ago. Exactly 100 years ago. Yeah, he was out here. That was the guy that was trying to confirm. Now remember, Einstein had a dream as a boy. He was tapped into his spirituality. It wasn't just all science with that guy. That's why I like him. That's why he was right. He had a dream that freaking light bent. He stuck to it. It's subconscious. He tapped into it. So that's what I've done with my cancer fight. I've tapped into my subconscious. Now listen to it. I listen to it. It will guide you. It will guide you. It won't trick you. It's the cerebral cortex that tricks us. It's our subconscious. It's all in there. We're not going to compartmentalize Fukushima and just hide it back there. It's still there. It's controlling your actions, thus the tattoos on the face, the body piercing, the internalization of the strife. Psychology, much more than psychology. It's the reality. So that's what we're doing. Look at people. They are mutated already. The plant life is mutated. The animals are mutated. They're dying. They're literally dying. The plants all over freaking are dying. Mutate. My sunflowers, my volunteer big giant sunflowers that come up every year. Last year they started growing out of the side of the stems. This year they come up like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe the mutated thing. And big giant heads, it's not one giant head, it's hundreds of little heads all over it. There's no doubt in my mind. It's environmental pollution. It's radiation in the atmosphere. They want to crash redneck. We know that it's here. We caught that green flash on film, by the way. And people want to say, I want to talk about this real briefly on the green flash. And I talked to an old freaking serious, connected with the earth, 80-year-old guy that I know in Pacific Beach. I've known him my whole life. I showed it to him. He says, people want to say the green flash is this little teeny green dot at the top of the sun. He says, that's not the green flash. He says, yeah, that's a prism. It's really rare, and it's really beautiful. Absolutely it is. But the green flash, he says, is exactly what you caught on film, and he says it's famous at Pacific Beach. The indigenous people used to talk about it for generations. This guy, he's like, I've never seen one on film, Kevin. Never. He says, you got it on film. He says, that's it. That's the green flash. He says, it's it. Now, is it particulates in the air? Of course it is. Is it? Who knows what the atmosphere, but it's always been a very spiritual thing. down here. I mean, the famous bar was named as Green Flash, you know, and so, yeah, the spear, the dot, it's called Green Flash. And so somebody writes a Wikipedia page about it's the dot on the top, and so you all hook, line, thinking you're out trying to catch that, thinking because somebody on Wikipedia told you that. Now, go talk to the old timers. Go talk to the indigenous people. Read up, go back I mean, it's like somehow you think in California, you know, by the way, the Mormon Battalion went over there, they took down my grandfather's monument, not California. The Mormons are trying to rewrite history. We went over there. My great-grandfather, Abraham, I'm the grandson of Abraham Thinker IV. Abraham Thinker I led the Mormon Battalion, and they, you know, they worked with indigenous people. I mean, that's the only reason they were able to survive. I mean, this is nothing new, the genocide. Californians have a long, ugly history of genociding their own people. I mean, Stanford was still shooting people from the train, you know, giving bounties on their ears. They killed every man, woman, and child right down to the last coastal native. I mean, it's a cruel genocide process, and I want people to understand the word genocide. Walt Stegner, one of my mentors, probably the greatest Western writer in America, well, in North American history. He's a Canadian that came down through here. If you think the Germans invented genocide, you know nothing about the American West, the coastal California. So it's nothing new. They genocided the indigenous people down here. Now they're genociding the giver of life, the mighty blue Pacific. What next, you know? Well, there is nothing next. This is it. This is the apocalypse. Radioactive. Oh, the kids, you know, I know those radio kids. They're Utah boys. They dropped the Fukushima banner and the post-surgeon's banner, one of the concerts for me. Been trying to get them go on tape, but their publicists get a hold of them, and it's their money. I mean, come on, how much money you guys got to have? How much do you have to have before somebody breaks ranks and comes out and makes a statement? Culturally, you know, somebody in the know. I mean, come on, somebody that has the platform. How much money do you have to have? How much? And it's like these old musicians who wrote all these quirky songs all the time. You know, they made money off the nuclear complex. Sting, How Can I Raise My Boy When Oppenheimer has his toy? When it wasn't Oppenheimer's toy, it was Teller's toy, and they still have the toys. The earthquake at Livermore. They say they're too old. They're not too old to tour and charge you $300 to get up on stage, but they can't make a statement. You know, I go to Boston, Tom Schultz, who I used to have respect for. I have no respect. Yeah, they're all anti-corporate American until they lose their money. He got broke, so he introduced their singer from American Idol on a show and had pretty dolphins swimming. He raising money to save the ocean, so I went up to talk to his handlers and his people. What about Fukushima? What? It's all fraud. They're all fraud. It's all about their money. That's what California's evolved into. You know, has that element always been here? Yeah, a piece of it's always, but there was always a connected environmentalist here who always fought. Same with Utah. I mean, I tell everybody I'm like a Sela camper, an Ivory Bull's woodpecker. You know, they thought they were both extinct. They caught, you know, Sela camp off Africa many years ago, so they're not extinct. There was a ivory-billed woodpecker filmed in Arkansas several years ago, I think. That's what we've turned into. When there was lots of us. Strength in numbers, Lori says today, and I said, yeah, we have no numbers. You know, it was heartbreaking to be down there. I was really disappointed, but I was enlightened. Tom came, us three. You know, it really showed me that San Diego is no different than San Francisco. They're comfortably numb, compartmentalized. Here's their own troops suing for being radiated. And he says, oh, they did, you know, they volunteered. They volunteered to be nuclear radiated by a quadruple meltdown? What? I don't think so. They joined the Navy for a job. They never thought they were going to be freaking in a nuclear reactor getting radiated, so they sue, and nobody supports them. We support the troops, you know, line up when a ship comes in, but they line up, but they won't show up for this. It's outrageous. You know, so we ignore the reality of everything. That's what we've turned into. So it's just a giant facade. That's what people are. You know, it's a plastic culture. I mean, Warhol was mocking it clear back then. But look what it's evolved into. So much worse. I mean, like I said, look at people. Just look around. You know, you'd be California. I spent my whole life here. These incredible, beautiful, freaking California girls. Oh, the men too. I mean, people were beautiful. I mean, there's still a lot of beautiful freaking girls down here, but they're not the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, freaking on the beach girls. They're dark, you know, they got the fake breasts and, you know, all the things what they got, you know, and they're shopping, you know, for an old guy. But the ocean's still here. I like George Carlin used to say, which I was a huge fan of Carlin, if you can't tell. I actually loved him. He said, "You arrogant control freaks think that you're going to take control of this incredible globe and this incredible earth and this amazing being that it is. It's going to flip you humans off like a flea. It is going to flip the humans off like a flea, but nuclear fallout is going to alter this thing." I think the Pacific, I'm standing here, you know, we're sitting here looking vast. I mean, what a landscape. I'm up here on the point by the lighthouse all the way up here and looking at this mighty blue Pacific. I mean, you can almost see the Fukushima, Japan. Wow, it's spectacular. I mean, we're altering it. This ocean's going to fight back. This ocean's going to spit back. I am so worried about a major tsunami here and an earthquake because it's going to happen. And they say, oh, man, no, not man-made. Tsunamis have always happened. The ring of fire. You know, everybody says, oh, this Fukushima 9-point earthquake was once in 1,000 years. I mean, they want to tell you that bullshit when it happened on the ring of fire just 5 years earlier. Remember how people were killed in Phuket? Whole islands were wiped out. That's what this region does. That's what this region does. You look up the earthquake, the Alaskan earthquake in the early 60s or late 50s. There were people killed in California by the tsunami. But that was before we had Diablo Canyon and San Onofre sitting there with 40 years of spent fuel buildup. And Livermore gone crazy. I'm so worried about it. I mean, we're so overdue. The 6.0 people freak. I mean, California's famous for 8-point-somethings in its history. We know this. Come on. I mean, you know, the geography doesn't look and view itself in, you know, 50-year increments and 100-year increments. No, it doesn't view the mighty blue Pacific. You know, this earth's been here, and people have been here for millions of years. California's the birthplace of California, they say over at Old Town, which Old Town's spectacular. The museums are spectacular there. Old Town is grand. It is spectacular. They've done such a good job with it. I love it over there. And no. The indigenous people were here forever. San Diego abused the indigenous people probably as much as anyone, if not. There's more indigenous people here, and they had the Christian war. They fought back against these Christian missionaries that came here. They had actual wars here. You know, what they did to them, and they rounded them up, the women, and turned them into sex slaves, housemaids. You know, Stanford is the most evil thing that ever happened, but it's a private institution. But now we have Cal Berkeley, and we were over at San Diego State protesting. You know what it is for an in-state tuition? I talked to lots of baby cubs at San Diego State. In-state tuition at San Diego State's over $30,000 a year. That's in-state. Well, it used to be free. So we've got elite kids. They think they're elite. You know, going further and further in debt, which they'll never get out of it because there's no job. I mean, to go to college right now is so worthless. You know, go get in there and they rubber stamp. They don't teach anymore. They just rubber stamp you off an assembly line. And that's what they do. And that's what we've done. So get that piece of paper, go in debt, or your family's paying for it. Well, when it's $40,000 for a state college, no diversity. You know, so nothing can come out of there. No creativity, no learning, no protest, obviously. What are they going to protest? They think they're on the winning team. My parents are elitists. I'm elitist. Even here, listen to this, even here in this beautiful, pristine thing, the same thing you hear everywhere. There's the leaf blowers. There's the leaf blowers. I got to tell you, the sanctuaries, the birds are all gone down here. I saw one blue heron this morning down here in the harbor, and at their mission day, I got video content. I did some really great videos up and down the coast. There, you know, where I stay, you know, Pacific Beach on Crown Point, right up there in the sanctuary, where they built condos on pylons right into the federally protected marsh. How they pulled that off, paid off a city council person. Not one single blue heron. Not one any shorebird at all. None. Zero. I saw one in Torrey Pines in that sanctuary, one blue heron. Well, I mean, we're talking places used to be hundreds of them. I mean, it's as obvious as the nose on your face that we're being altered dramatically. Yeah, hardcore drought? Yes, no doubt. But, yeah, Miko Kaka, he's on the hardcore drought. And then the new norm. I mean, that posturing, I mean, it's outrageous that Fukushima's pointing into the Pacific. And, he's done great work, and I've been a fan of his because he called it the way it is. He's late to the game always, but when he tells you that, thousands of years ago, that's what California was, and the Earth's rising 4 inches this hard. Well, let's talk about yeah, we can get into all that, but let's get real. Let's get real. Nuclear fallout into the atmosphere is changing the climate dramatically. We want to talk about dirty coal burning in. Let's talk about freaking nuclear fission going into the atmosphere. Campbell, right here on the observation point, he presented his data 100 years ago, and he said, it didn't bend. It was Eddington, the peace activist. He says, yes, it does. Stop, it bent. Einstein says, when I wrote the letter to FDR, when I was told that the Germans had this great, the worst thing I ever did, is they opened up the treasury to the Manhattan Project and the nuclear cartel, and it's developed a culture, and that culture has never stopped. It has never looked back. It is free money. That's what Scripps is. That's what freaking WHIP is. That's what Los Alamos is. That's what Megan Rice breaks into Y12. Y12 Wool. You ought to see Oak Ridge. It's an entire giant city, whole city complexes. So these are giant, beware the military industrialized complex. It's not a cliche. It happened. Everybody's still waiting for the dollar's going to crash when the dollar crashed 10 years ago. We're worried about this catastrophic environment when it happened. The main event happened, 3/11, 11/11. All this stuff already happened, and you're still waiting for it to happen. Happened. Person like me, nothing left to win and nothing left to lose. Oh, boy. I forked every dime I had to get into the bone marrow transplant center. The average treatment for AML leukemia is $1.6 million. So, we'll wrap it up. We got to be getting close, and it's been quite an experience. I did a lot of great videos. I'm really proud of the work that we did. It's been hardcore. It's been stressful. It's been hard. It's been tough. I actually caught lightning on the beach in a video. I just said, how rare that is. A green flash. Wow. Oh, my God. He says, I've never seen one on video, ever. And he says, that is the green flash. They call it green flash, not green dot. His words, not mine. Wow. I mean, a lot of spiritual strength working with me that comes to me, that, leads me, guides me. And I've tried to follow it. I really have tried to follow it. I've tried to tap into that spiritual energy on this mighty blue Pacific, and I've tried to let the mighty blue Pacific heal me. And like so many cultures have done, we did, some great yoga down on the beach, with one of the real ones, not the fake ones, a native born and raised here her whole life who really gets it. There's still a few, not many. They're buying bus passes for the homeless in San Francisco, shipping them down here, and when they get here, they're locking them up. The cops have watched too much TV. I'm like, what, you can't get cancer? Come spin our wheel. Come on. I kill them with kindness. I talk to them in a logical reason. By the time I'm done with it, they all love me. This one didn't. The one didn't. But the U.S. Marshals down there, all of them. What is it they're protecting? You got 10, more than that. Dozens and dozens of people watching me. What? For what? Because I'm protesting on my own property? We're federal taxpayers. My father gave his life for this country. Well, he didn't give it. They took it. They murdered him. That's what they did to the kids on the U.S. It's murder. You can sugarcoat it all you want. They knew. They sent them in there, and they freaking genocide. And they're experimenting on them, just like they did the atomic veterans, the 40,000 atomic veterans. They did the same thing. And I used to tell people that story, and they used to look at me like I was crazy. By the way, the video content you watch on that is mine. I sued the Justice Department over and over and over to expose all that, and then the great film producer who dug in and watched all of them, he did a lot of that hard work. Thank God. Well, I'll be heading home soon, so it's been an adventure. But San Diego's a cultural theme park for Europeans to shop at, and it's just in denial of San Francisco. California, get ready, baby. Get ready, because the chickens are going to come home to roost, Bobby. We cannot continue to genocide this Pacific without a consequence. There's going to be this ocean is going to fight back.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Twin Gate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it